Let's Talk Tanya for the 23rd of Iyar. We are officially in the home stretch of Tanya. We are today starting chapter 51. There's 3 chapters left in Tanya. We finished our discussion, which took us around 10 chapters, all about kavana, the importance of having emotional investment in our Torah study, in our doing mitzvahs. And the last 3 chapters of Likutei Amarim, which is the first part of Tanya, it feels like an appendix in a way. We are going to be going back and revisiting that which we talked about in chapters 35 through 37 of Tanya, where it spoke about dira b'tachtonim, how us, through doing mitzvahs, we create a home for God here in this world. And we are going to dig deeper and have a deeper understanding of how it is that our mitzvahs create this home for God over here in our world. In the beginning of chapter 35, in introducing the concept of dira b'tachtonim, the Alter Rebbe cites a metaphor from the Zohar. The Zohar says over there that every single one of us, we are like a candle. We are a divine candle. The wick is the body. The flame is the Shechinah, the divine presence. And what keeps the wick, the body, connected to the flame, to the Shechinah? That is the oil. And what is the oil? The oil is the mitzvahs that we do, the action mitzvahs that we do. Although we explained this metaphor back then, there are still quite a few secrets that are hidden within this metaphor that we've not yet unlocked, and that is what we will be doing, God willing, over the next 3 chapters. And let's start with 2 questions. Question number 1 is, we're saying that mitzvahs is what keeps us connected to the divine presence, to the Shechinah, and the mitzvahs are compared to oil. What is the connection between mitzvahs and oil? Especially since in Kabbalah, generally, when we're talking about oil, oil is a reference to or a metaphor for wisdom, for chachma. So there's nothing more distant than wisdom on the one hand and action on the other hand. You know, wisdom is the highest faculty of the soul. Action is the lowest faculty of the soul. So why are we calling mitzvahs, action mitzvahs, why are we comparing it to oil? And then there's another question, which is a larger question. We're talking here about what's called hashras hashchina. This is something which we have many times in the words of our sages, Shechinah shruya, which means the resting of the Shechinah, the resting of the divine presence. In order to have the hashras hashchina, for the Shechinah to rest upon me, I need to do mitzvahs. What does that mean anyways? What does it mean that the Shechinah rests in a certain place? What does it mean that certain places are holier than other places? We know, for example, the Beis HaMikdash, the Holy Temple, we say the Shechinah is present over there, the Shechinah rests over there. But isn't God everywhere? If God is everywhere, what makes one place, whether it's the Holy Temple or whether it's a shul, what makes it holier, or what does it mean that God is more present in that place than in another place? To answer these questions, we're going to have to look into ourselves. The reason for that is, we human beings, we are created, B'Tselem Elokim, we are created in God's image, and what that allows is that we can look at ourselves and have deeper understanding of God. In our case, what we're going to be examining for the next few segments of Tanya is the relationship between our body and our soul. Understanding that relationship will help us understand what does it mean, hashras hashchina, what does it mean that the Shechinah is present more in some places than other places. And we start with the question, where in the body is the soul? Is it everywhere? Is it in some places more than others? This is a conversation the Alter Rebbe begins in today's Tanya, but we will leave this conversation for tomorrow's Let's Talk Tanya.